I knew from my last experience in Italy that like just a nice pair of tight white shorts in a hot Italian sun felt like the right thing to wear. And as the stars turn gloomy, the night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go a walking just after midnight, out in the moonlight, just hoping you may be somewhere a walking after midnight, searching for me. Okay, I have the Tumi. And guess why I have my Tumi? Because I am going to Italy tomorrow. And I'm so excited. I spent last July, not this July, but last year in July, I spent the entire month and a little more in Florence doing a course at an art school. And now I'm going back to the same art school. Last year, I did a course called Écorché, learning about anatomy by building a skeleton and then all the musculature, like in a very intense way, which is why it took an entire month. And this year, I'm going back to do figure painting at the Florence Academy of Art. So I thought it would be fun to share with you my process of packing for my trip. I have done a packing video before, but this is, I gotta do this. I gotta do it now because I'm leaving tomorrow. So I thought while I'm doing it, you can be here so that I could share with you my method. Now, I have to say this is deeply personal to me. I am going to tell you what I do. This by no means is implying that this is what you should do. A lot of people have kids. A lot of people just can't do what I do. So you do your thing, but if you can glean any kind of inspiration from my methods, that makes me happy. I pack really, really light. I don't want to be lugging around stuff. So I'm just kind of ruthless. And my inspiration comes from my dear friend Christian in Toronto, who is even lighter a packer than me. He came to Sri Lanka for 2 weeks, and he arrived with just a bag like this, like seriously, for 2 weeks. How he does that, I still don't even understand how he does it. But he does it, and he's my inspiration. So this is the bag that I'm taking, the Tumi bag, okay? It's a duffel bag. I take 2 bags. I take a duffel bag, and then I take some kind of satchel or shoulder bag. So I'm either going to take this bag or I'm going to take a little leather satchel. And then I do actually, there's one more thing that I actually pack. I need to get it from here. And it's like a collapsible bag. Where is it? Everything lives up here. Is that? No, that's underwear. That's flip-flops. Oh, here it is. So in here is just a very thin nylon folding Tumi bag. It's called a just-in-case. And this opens up and turns into another duffel bag. So I actually pack this because when I go on a trip, I usually end up buying things. And because this is going to end up packed to the brim when I leave, I anticipate needing something to bring stuff back. So this is kind of essential, and that goes in here. But the way here, this is how I do it. The way I pack really lightly is I really, really, really think about what I'm gonna wear. And I siphon it down to the bare essentials. I never feel underdressed when I'm on a trip. I always wanna be able to leave the apartment or leave the hotel and do one last check in the mirror and go, damn, boy, you look good. So this is not about like just taking scruffy clothes and winging it. I always look good. I always feel really good, but it's because I really plan out what I'm going to take with me. So here's my thing. I always wear a suit on the plane, always. And because it's still warm, it's going to be like 90 degrees in Florence next week. I am going to take a lightweight summer suit. I have not quite decided which one exactly I'm going to take. I'm either going to wear this blue linen suit or this cotton khaki suit. And I'm going to wear this on the plane. So I'm not going to pack this in my bag because this would take up a lot of room and it would get all wrinkled, which is fine because, you know, you can steam a suit. But this is also going to affect what I put in the bag. Because I'm going to wear a suit, I take at least one white dress shirt in addition to the shirt that I'm going to wear on the plane. So I kind of work back from there. I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to wear a suit, so I have to take a dress shirt. One dress shirt, not 7. This is the other thing. I wash everything. Like if I'm in a hotel, I get laundry detergent locally and I just fill the sink and I wash things and I hang them up to dry. If I'm in an Airbnb, I make sure I find one that has a washing machine so that I can wash things regularly. And last year in Italy, what was so unexpected is it became such a charming part of my stay. Like every 3 days, I would do the wash. The washing machine was on the balcony of this tiny little apartment, and it was in a shared courtyard, and there was a clothesline that actually hung over into the courtyard, and you'd have to pull on it. So I lost a couple of panties. Where they went, I don't know. They fell. But you know, that was so charming. It was charming to put all my bits out in the sun in a communal courtyard and have them dry in like 100-degree heat. So one dress shirt. I always also take a pair of actual pajamas. This is something that I actually do debate with myself. Like, do you really need to take pajamas? And there have been instances where I have not taken pajamas and I'm just sleeping in my underwear, and I've thought like, you know, it would be really nice to have pajamas, like to be able to, when I'm in a hotel, to be able to sit on the sofa and read a book at night before I get into bed. So I do pack pajamas, and these pajamas are so thin and so light that they just condense into kind of hardly anything, and they don't take up a lot of room. So I fold everything into kind of square piles. Pajamas, dress shirt, one pair of jeans, only one. And because it's, as I said, it's going to be warm in Florence, I try to find things that like are not going to be very hot. And these are a light pair of jeans, a thin light pair of jeans. Those are going to go in there. Socks. So I've laid everything out on my bed, like the things that I'm going to pack, most of them. I'm going to take 5 pairs of socks, and I'm going to wear 1 pair of socks on the plane. I'm going to take my panties, 5 or 6 pairs of those. This is a linen smock because I'm going for a figure painting course. I will be wearing a smock to protect my clothes while I'm painting. So this actually is essential. Linen smock. And 1 long sleeve t-shirt. Just 1. Shorts. Who wear short shorts? I knew from my last experience in Italy that like just a nice pair of tight white shorts in a hot Italian sun felt like the right thing to wear. And I have another pair of linen shorts, 1 black tank top, 1 black t-shirt, and then 2 white t-shirts. 2 white t-shirts. And okay, I will openly admit that when I pack, I also have to go into kind of a mental state where I really need to think about all my days in Florence, and I need to envision every situation, potential situation, as a final check. And I can't do that with you here. Like, I'm just going to openly admit that. We're making this video, and there is this kind of almost meditative thing that I do before I finalize the contents of my bag. And it's funny because, like, even when I'm doing this and friends are over, if they're in the room talking with me, I politely continue the conversation, but I actually stop the process of packing and wait until they've left the room before I do my final, like, do I have everything I need? So that will happen later. In addition to the clothes that are going into this bag, I'm going to take toiletries. And here's the thing. I'm packing this bag because I never check a bag. When I'm traveling, I don't want to risk that my bag is going to get lost. I don't want to be lugging around a huge, heavy suitcase in the tiny cobblestone streets of Florence. And the last thing I want to do is to be creating this hideous sound of wheels clacking, clack, 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 clack all over the cobbles in Florence, which is why I don't have a rolly bag with wheels. I just don't even own one. So the great thing about not having a rolly bag is you're also not fighting for space on the plane, because this bag always fits under the seat in front of me. So I usually just wait for everyone. Everyone's rushing and lining up to get on the plane. I wait for them all to get on the plane, and when they do last call, then I get up from my seat and walk out to the plane. Usually I'm the last person, and I put this bag under the seat in front of me. No stress. So that's a huge aspect of this. You know, you're going on a trip, and you want it to be nice, and you want to enjoy it. And I want to enjoy every aspect, including the airport experience. Luggage weighs me down. That's why I do this. So this bag is toiletries. The toiletries are just the essentials. Listen, this is the other thing. I'm always telling myself, whatever you need, you can buy it there. You're going to be in Europe. So I just have, like, the one thing that I realized they don't have good Q-tips over there. So I do take Q-tips because I use Q-tips. Nail file, toothbrush. I am taking a small bit of toothpaste, shampoo and conditioner. Because I'm only there for 2 weeks and not a month, I'm not going to buy shampoo and conditioner over there, but I'm taking it in little bottles. If I'm staying for a month, I would not do this. I would just buy the shampoo and conditioner there. That's all. Deodorant's also in here. This goes in here, okay? So there's still room in here. Now, the other things that I will need to take is I am going to be painting watercolors in Florence. So I'm going to take my watercolor brushes, because right here are the brushes that I always use for watercolor painting, and I have accumulated these brushes over the last few years. They're very, very expensive. I would otherwise just buy things like brushes over there, but these are so pricey and expensive that I'm going to take them with me and not buy them there. I have to get a watercolor palette from the closet to take. And these are my actual paints, which I will later put in a plastic bag in case there's any explosion, and then so that you don't get paint all over the few clothes that I'm taking. But I'll just put them in here for now. And then the last thing, shoes. Shoes are what cause a lot of excess weight, and they take up space. So this is actually a hard thing for me, is like shoes. What do I do? Last year when I spent over a month in Florence, I just wore one pair of shoes for the whole time. This time, I think I would like to have 2 pairs of shoes available. So I'm going to wear a pair on the plane. I'll probably wear the fancier pair on the plane, and I've laid these out. I have to actually choose what I'm going to wear on the plane. So maybe these, depending on what suit I choose, I'm going to wear penny loafers. But I choose the shoes that are the most, what's the word? Like, I can get the most use out of them with all the things that I'm going to be wearing, the different outfits that I'm going to be wearing. Last year, I wore just these boat shoes, and I wore them with my suit and with all my shorts. So these are definitely going to Florence. But now that I'm looking at everything, I realize that these will take up more room in my bag than any of these, just because they're bulkier. So I think I will wear these on the plane. And then I'm just gonna pack the other pair. And the way I pack shoes is I get a nice cloth bag. I put the shoes like this, where they go like this. They nest together like this, like how you'd kind of find them in a shoebox. And then these will go into the bag. And that's about it. And in this bag, I also need to put my charger for my phone. I need to put my confuser, my laptop, I call it the confuser, in here. The confuser charger needs to go in here. And then I also have this bag. And this bag is the bag that's kind of open. It doesn't have a zipper. I'm gonna put my passport in here. I have my wallet in here, my sunglasses, and then a book. So the last thing that I do, like I do this just shortly before I leave for the airport, is I choose what book I'm gonna take. I don't take a lot of books because they take up room and they weigh me down, and I never end up reading everything that I take. So now I've learned to just take one. And right here I'm just debating, because this was the anatomy textbook that we used last year for the course. And because I'm doing figure painting, I'm wondering, like, should I take this with me? Because I really might use it. There's a big question mark here because it is a bigger book, and I don't know. This book is probably what I'm going to take. I just got this. It's called Ways of Seeing by John Berger, recommended to me by someone. So this is definitely going. And then this morning, as I was making breakfast, I put my copper kettle onto the stove, and the line, "And the kettle on the hob sings peace into his breast," came into my head, and I had to run into my room and pull out Yeats, because it's from a Yeats poem called The Stolen Child. And as I started reading that poem again, and I came to the line about the kettle, I teared up, and I'm like, maybe I would like to take Yeats with me to Italy. And then I thought, well, maybe I would like to take Tennyson with me to Italy. You're not taking both. You can choose one. So either Tennyson or Yeats will come with me. For now, let's put Yeats in here. And then last little thing, an actual map. I really, really, really like to have an actual paper map of the city. And this is a map of Florence, because on my phone, you can never really see the whole thing. Like, you can, but you have to zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. It's very difficult for me to fully understand the orientation of where I am in a city like Florence if I don't have a paper map. So I'm old-fashioned. I have to have an actual map in my hands, not on a screen. So that's going to go in there. Look at this. Look how much room is in here. That's it. Like, a few more things will go in here, but seriously, like, I will be gone for almost 3 weeks, and this is what's liberating about this. This is how I will leave this apartment. This is how I will get off the plane. This is how I will find a taxi. The taxi is going to take me to Roberto Ugolini, a shoemaker I met last year, who, on the last day of my trip last year, agreed to keep my bicycle for me. The bicycle I found for 100 euros and used for a month. And my bike's waiting for me in the back of his shop. So I'm going to go to his shop, I'm going to get my bike, and I can put this bag on the back of that bike and ride to the Airbnb. Liberating. So there you have it. My prep for Italy, which happens tomorrow. I will see you I won't see you, but you will see me over there in Italy, where I do plan to share with you the adventures that I'm on.